Welcome back. Now it looks like Mom is going down towards the water. Look how full her belly is, and look at those. She's lactating very heavily. You can see her teats that are full of milk. I wonder where she's going. Is she going to have a drink? Look at the youngsters following her as well. Following that black tip, biting that black tip as well. Just showing us exactly what they're following, and you'll see it in the long grass. That black tip is so obvious to them. Stands out incredibly. She's trying to find a good place. Looks like she is going for a drink. As I said, particularly once you've eaten quite a lot, you can develop quite a thirst. And it was quite interesting. I mean, the female was growling quite a lot at the two younger ones, and then it looks like an older lioness that's here as well, as they got a bit closer. Look at that though. I mean, this river very rarely flows, and it's in full flow at the moment. And those little ones have just been born on the side here, and that's all they know is this river flowing and watching it. And earlier they were kind of sitting on the bank watching some of the debris flow by. Super interesting that Mom's taken them so close. I mean, she doesn't really have to worry too much about crocodiles in this river per se. But in lots of riverbeds, in rivers that flow quite strongly, ones that flow more permanently will have a more constant presence of crocodiles, and little cubs on the edge of water like that can be quite a risk actually. A croc would work out over the past few days that there is a lioness here, and that there is this constant presence of cubs, and that there is kind of a den site. And they'll come and move in and just wait for a cub to get too close to the water before they snatch it up. I know where Mom's going here. She's going kind of to the rest of the pride. I wonder if the little ones are going to follow. I wonder if this isn't going to be like an interesting introduction. I mean, the other ones are very aware that the little ones are here. Let's see if she comes up. I know where she's going, and see what the cubs do. It'll be one little communication, and the cubs will run straight back into the thick bush. She may even disappear herself into the thick bush, try and get some rest. Susanna, if I understood correctly, where are their spots? So if you have a look closely, they are super small, but on the fronts of their faces, can you see those little patches? And even on the backs of their legs and on their tummies, they've got these small little spots, and along their spine, almost like a little mohawk. They're not as obvious as one might think. They're actually quite light in color, and I'm sure that's that recessive white gene, particularly in the one of them. The one that's closest to us looks like might be the lightest one. They vary in color, but they do have those spots. They are still tiny, 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 particularly on the back of its legs there. You can see those spots, and those will be the things that camouflage them in the bush. I mean, with Mom around, they don't have to worry too much about camouflage at the moment. Oh, you see, now this is going to be interesting. Watch Mom. See that older youngsters now come into play. I'm sure Mom's going to be over here very quickly to try and watch. Oh, there she comes. She's growling. She's going to try and chase this older one away. He's desperate to get involved. Oh, even scared the little ones a bit. Look how submissive that little one's being. Look at how that commotion is so worried, those little ones. They might even run back into the bush to try and protect it. So lots of commotion. Mom wasn't very happy with that little one. Almost pushed it straight into the river. Look how running away with its tail between its legs. Look how big that lioness is compared to that little one as well. I mean, it's all about lessons out here as well. See now, that one's sibling is kind of moving away, in fact. I mean, it heard the commotion, watched its sister go in there and get a bit of a hiding from the little cub's mom, and they're going to move away. It's something that you do once, get a bit of a smack, and you move off. Particularly if you almost get pushed into a riverbed, lots of growling, a bite, or a push from a paw is something that you won't do too often. But you see, as soon as Mom gave that little gap, the older cubs kind of came in. They were watching and waiting for that small little gap before they got a chance to go in and play. And they're still cubs themselves. They're around a year old. They want to play. They want to get involved in that action that was happening. looked like lots of fun. And now you see how mom's kind of position. Oh, sorry, we're not. Oh, is this the one in this little dip here? So, just judging by the reaction from that one who's just been scolded by the female, it's come back to the bigger female. I wonder if that other female isn't their mother. Kind of got a big talking to from their aunt, and they've run back to mom to kind of be comforted. But you have a look at this female. This is the one that was busy pushing and shoving and protecting her cubs. And you see how she's positioned herself now? She's facing directly towards where that little one went, towards where the other lioness is. She's kind of lying between her cubs and where everyone else is, just to ensure that they don't come back. You see how she's turning her head? She's making sure she can hear exactly where those three little ones are. She wants to try and have a good whereabouts as to where their whereabouts is all the time when she's here. And you saw that reaction to one of her relatives as they're coming in, and that relative wasn't meaning any harm. They just wanted to play a little bit and push and shove with their new cousins. But can you imagine? So Pele, can the cubs growl at this age? They can. It's quite high-pitched, and I don't know if you heard it, but when they came in, they were snarling and they were kind of growling. It's not quite as deep as the growl of that mother, but they can indeed. So they're the little ones, kind of just moving back through the grass. I wonder if they're not getting the confidence to come back while mom's there and the whole situation has calmed down. But you saw how she reacted with one of her relatives. Can you imagine a hyena came too close? What the response would be from this mother. I mean, incredibly protective and incredibly strong. I wouldn't want to be messing around here. And it's super thick. I mean, anything can kind of wander into here. Even ourselves, when you're walking, you can, if you don't know that this area is here, you could kind of just walk in and stumble across it, and you'll find out very quickly that you're in the wrong area. And if you take the female's warning, she'll very likely warn you from a distance, growl at you before she wants to kind of charge or attack. She'll give you a warning. If you heed that warning, things will calm down quite quickly. But if you advance, even once those warnings are given, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. And she's not going to be nearly as gentle as she was on that other cub that came through. Welcome back, everybody. Now, one of the other bigger lionesses, she's one of the younger lionesses, in fact. It looks like the mother of those next older cubs in the pride. Let's see what happens here. She's getting a bit closer. I think more to greet the female than the cub. But you see how the cub's kind of gone right between mom's leg, and she's feeling quite comfortable. Oh, very comfortable when the cub's between her legs. She's got a real good protection area there. And even though that other lioness is come so close, look at the size difference between, I mean, this little one. You see that yawn, super playful this morning. I mean, particularly after spending days sleeping and this morning lots of playing, it can be quite exhausting. I mean, little children, little cubs, look, maybe it's going to call the other two out. It's gone to watch. Let's see if this, the end of its tail's looking a little bit, I don't know. I mean, a few of them have got some serious scars. I wonder what happened. I wonder if something didn't come through and kind of got a little hold of them, and maybe mom came in and chased them off very quickly. I mean, in conditions like this, I mean, there's lots of food around and they've been eating quite well. Mange can also be something that'll get into, here come the rest of them. Here they come. Maybe they went off, had a little snooze, saw the activity of that other female. She actually went down and had a drink at the water. All three of them are just the cutest little things. The confidence, down the hill they go, follow each other hopefully. Let's see if they start playing with that other lioness. That's quite amazing. So we would talk, look how she watches mom, that other lioness, hey? But this is quite amazing. See how submissive she was? She turned her head, kind of put her ears back a little bit, now watching away. She's kind of pretending to not show any interest in those cubs, just to avoid the aggression of the mother. Look at that for submissive behavior. Turns her head completely as if she's not interested and not doing anything to the cubs just so that she can lie so close to that other female. I mean, lions are amazing. They've got these incredibly tight social bonds within a pride, and these two would have grown up together. They've probably done many hunts together, eaten together, lived together. You see how she walked up from the riverbed, kind of rubbed her head up against her, just showing the affection that lions often do. And did you see the cubs also started to do that? They wanted to go towards that other female, rub up against, develop this bond. I mean, this is probably one of the first times that that female's got so close to those cubs. So it's quite exciting for everyone, but nerve-wracking for Mom. But Mom trusts that other lioness, particularly because she's also just had cubs of her own. She knows how to deal with them very gently. And you'll see in the next few months, those cubs will get more freedom to go towards the rest of the pride members, and they'll start grooming each other and developing these bonds which will be there for life, particularly the females. It's quite difficult to sex these little ones at the moment. I was trying earlier. I think I saw one male and one female. I didn't get the sex of the third one. But particularly the females, they'll live with Mom and that other lioness for the rest of their lives, if they manage to survive. I mean, the fathers of these cubs, the Ross males, are getting a bit older now, and it's interesting to see how long they're going to have with this pride, which is not... They've already been in charge for around 3 years, which is a long time, particularly for older males, and only 2 of them in this area. I mean, some of the most prime lion territory in the world. Why you find these huge super prides around here. There's also stiff competition for it from other males, nomadic males that are coming through. And my opinion as to why the Ross males have done so well, they might make them seem a little bit soft, but actually incredibly clever. They've been very... and out of interest from new advancing males. Look at these 3. All of them have got scars on their back. I'd love to have known what happened. I wonder if that hyena didn't get too close that one time. But those scars, the fur will grow up and develop over those. So I'm going to keep quiet. The cubs are making a little bit of noise. I wonder if they're not going to try and convince Mom to have a little suckle. Can the scar on one of the cubs cause an infection? It doesn't look like it. So those wounds actually look like they're reasonably old. They have covered up. They're not deep at all. So they've kind of covered up, and you see how they're black already. I don't think they're at risk of causing an infection over there. I think the risky part of those wounds getting infected is already over. You see how it's dark? It's almost like scabbed over. You know when you cut yourself and it develops this scab? That's pretty much what's happened there. It's already closed up. So this little one closest to us looks like a young male. You can actually see, looks like a scrotum at the back just below its tail. Looks like a young male. All 3 of them lying right on top of there. So I wonder I think I saw another young female. Maybe it's 1 male and 2 females.